Cup, I want to make sure that you understand all the different levels or aspects that you want to pay attention to in order to heal your life from past experiences. If you've had things that happened that were very upsetting or wounding years ago or more recently, or if you want to grow into a bigger expression of your life experience, or if you feel like you've been stuck in patterns, like your life just keeps going around and around. You might see your patterns in relationships, they never work out. You might see your patterns in jobs, you only go so far and then you feel stuck, or you're not getting the amount of success or money that you'd like. You might see patterns in your health, constant health symptoms, struggling with health, struggling with vitality and energy. Whatever it is in your life, healing from the past, growing, breaking patterns where you're stuck, these 5 areas are critical. And if you haven't paid attention to all of them, you're not going to get the results that you want, okay? The first one is your mental aspect. What do you think on a regular basis? How are your thoughts? If you've ever gone to therapy, this is where therapy mostly pays attention to. So talk therapy has a lot to do with your thoughts. It's also the big reason why if you're only doing talk therapy, you have to keep going to therapy because the other aspects have not been addressed. All right, so the first one is your thoughts. The second one is your emotions, your emotional home state. So if you don't address your emotions, and a lot of people feel like certain emotions are bad and negative and they're afraid of them and they shove them down. So that's not dealing with emotions. I just did an emotional clearing with a client on Thursday that was explosive. Super easy on her part, but we really shifted and released some significant emotions. Not scary. So, but the emotional aspect has to happen too. The third one is your spiritual aspect. Your spirituality is connecting to your inner self, your authentic self. That's what spirituality is. There are different ways to do that and different tools that you might use, but what it is connecting to your inner self, your authentic self. That's developing your spirituality. If you're not doing that, you're not getting the outcomes in your health, in your relationships, in your success, and your joy. You can't, because it is your authentic self that needs to be expressed and connected to. The next one is your energetic consciousness. Your energetic consciousness is, here's how I think of consciousness. Imagine a 1-year-old toddler. You put them in front of the TV. When the TV's on, they can only be conscious of that TV. You could say their name, they don't blink, right? They're only conscious of that TV. Now they get to be 4 years old. Their consciousness has expanded. So you could put a 4-year-old in front of the TV, go in the other room and be on the phone talking about the Disney vacation, and that 4-year-old will hear it and come running in and saying, "Are we going to Disney?" Their ability and their consciousness has expanded. We live at different energetic consciousnesses. Every one of us, you have your energetic consciousness, I have mine, and it can change over a lifetime. Where you are at needs to be addressed if you really want to shift anything. So I want to quickly go through the different energetic consciousness that there is that you might be living at. So the first 2 are really the lowest level. It's living in survival. It's living in life is happening to me. My parents, didn't do a good job. We didn't have a lot of money. People have screwed me over. Life has happened to me. Those first 2 levels are always pointing the finger outward at what others are doing, what has happened, as the blame. So it is a victim consciousness place to be. When you have your finger pointed outward, you cannot be connected spiritually to self because you're not even looking inward. You're blaming everything, you're looking outward. The first level of that is a consciousness level that says, I lose. Things happen, people do things, and I always lose. I always get the short end of the stick. It never works out for me. That's the first consciousness level. The second consciousness level is still pointing the finger outward, but now it's more an anger consciousness. It's more of a defense, like I'm ready to fight. It's more of, oh, no, I'm not gonna lose, you're gonna lose. I'm gonna win and you're gonna lose. Those two levels are very catabolic, meaning they break down your life, your health, your relationships, right? Anabolic steroids are what bodybuilders take to grow. Catabolic means breaking down. So when you're in those beginning levels of consciousness, those human survival levels, life is constantly breaking down and you're just scrambling to try to keep it together. You've got to move out into the next levels, the higher levels of consciousness. So real quick, the next one is when you start to take your finger and turn it inward, you start to connect to your inner self. And at that level, you start to embrace forgiveness. Forgiveness is the bridge for leaving the victim consciousness and moving into, I'm creating my life. Forgiveness is it. So if you hold on to, I can't forgive, I don't want to forgive, then you're keeping yourself in those lower catabolic, pointing the finger outward consciousness levels. So forgiveness is critical. After forgiveness, you're now moving more into the spiritual expression of your life, connecting to your authentic self. And you're starting to, as you point your finger inward, see what you can do to create your life. And so the next level would be a level of compassion and empathy, where you start to relate to people differently. Instead of seeing people as doing things to you, you start to see them more as you're connected. We're all connected, coming from that spiritual source that we all come from. The trouble here is you can get stuck here and think that it's your role to fix everybody, and it's not. Everybody has their own journey, right? But that's the fourth level. Then the fifth level is where we start to really leave codependence, or we have left codependence. In those first two levels, you're stuck in codependence because you're dependent upon what other people do. You're dependent, your life is dependent upon how you're perceiving other people, right? That's an aspect of codependence. So when you get yourself to the fifth level of your energetic consciousness growth, you're no longer codependent. You actually see that life is not about winning. Life is not about winning. It's not about what I do or what you do. It's all about experiences for expansion. And how can I create my life from that place? That's when you get the relationships that are amazing. You get the feeling of joy and abundance as a regular experience. That's when you realize no one else is coming. No one else is coming to hurt me, and no one else is coming to save me. My life and how I create it is on me. So that's a quick look at the energetic consciousness levels. So we talked about thinking, your mental aspect, your emotions, your spirituality, your energetic consciousness, and the last one is your physical. Most people just go right to the physical. Life isn't working. What do I need to do to change my body? Take supplements, diets, etc. Or what actions do I need to take? That's in the physical, right? I need to change my job. I need to break up with this person. I need to do whatever action I need to take. And people are always looking for what's the next action. The amazing thing is, if you address those first four, most of the time the physical just unfolds. You might need to take some actions, but by addressing the first four, your physical experience changes. Your body changes, your health changes, your relationships change, your joy changes. That is the work that we do in Return to You. We look at all of those levels and we address all of them. And you learn how to create your life and make those shifts in your physical life by learning and addressing all the other aspects of you. If you need to do that, drop me a comment.